Okay, have you ever really truly thought about how your brain pulls off perfect timing? I mean, think about catching a set of keys someone throws to you or hitting a baseball. Your brain is making these insane split-second calculations. Well, let's get into it because some amazing new research has just uncovered the secret behind how it all works.
No, really, just think about it for a sec. How do you know the exact moment to close your hand on those keys, or when to strike a chord on the piano? It feels completely automatic, right? Almost like magic. But it turns out there's this incredibly precise and, well, beautiful mechanism at work inside your head.
And the answer, according to a brand new study in the journal Nature, is just so elegant. Scientists have discovered that our brain uses what is basically an internal hourglass to control the timing of our movements. And this simple idea, this analogy, it's the key to understanding this whole thing.
So to really get why this discovery is such a big deal, we first have to appreciate just how mind-bogglingly complex it is to hit that perfect moment.
Every single move you decide to make requires a calculation of when to do it. And for most of us, our brains are just running these calculations flawlessly, all the time, completely in the background. We don't even notice. So, how in the world does it do it?
And that brings us right to the heart of this breakthrough, the brain's internal hourglass. Now, this isn't just some clever metaphor. Nope, it's a model that actually describes a real, measurable process happening between your ears.
Of course, there isn't a tiny glass timer floating around in your skull. This hourglass is a dynamic system, and it's created by the incredible teamwork between two very specific parts of the brain. So, let's meet them.
All right, so who are the stars of this show? Let's break down the two regions that act as our brain's master timekeepers.
First up, we've got the motor cortex. The easiest way to think about this is as the top of the hourglass. When you're getting ready to make a move, the motor cortex starts sending out this steady stream of timing signals. It's literally pouring the sand.
So where does all that sand go? Well, it collects in the striatum. This part acts as the bottom of the hourglass. It just patiently gathers up all those signals coming in from the motor cortex, letting them build and build and build.
Okay, so let's put it all together. It's this beautifully simple three-step dance. First, the motor cortex says, "Get ready," and starts that flow of signals. Second, the striatum starts to accumulate those signals, just like sand filling up the bottom. And finally, once the level of signals hits a certain point, a critical threshold, it triggers the go command. And that's when you make your move. Simple as that.
Now, look, having a cool theory is one thing, but how did these scientists actually prove this whole hourglass system was real? Well, this is where it gets really, really clever.
The researchers didn't just sit back and watch. They got in there and actively intervened. They recorded all the neural activity so they could see the sand flowing in real time. And then, using some pretty advanced techniques, they could temporarily and safely switch off each brain region to see exactly what that did to the timer.
And here's the amazing part. When they silenced the motor cortex, the part sending the signals, the buildup in the striatum just paused. The sand stopped flowing. But when they silenced the striatum, the part collecting the signals, the whole count was wiped clean. It completely reset. It was exactly like flipping the hourglass over and starting from scratch.
These two totally different results, a pause versus a complete reset, that was the smoking gun. It was undeniable proof of how the system worked. It showed one region sends the signal, and the other one collects it. The hourglass wasn't just a metaphor anymore. It was a proven, real mechanism.
So this is way more than just a fascinating piece of neuroscience. Understanding this internal clock has huge, huge implications for human health.
I mean, think about conditions like Parkinson's disease. When you get right down to it, a lot of the symptoms are problems with the brain's internal clock. The ability to start a movement or control it at just the right moment. It's all disrupted. The hourglass is, for lack of a better word, broken.
But, and this is the hopeful part, now that we understand the mechanism, we can actually start figuring out how to fix it. This research could lead to completely new kinds of therapies that are designed to fix these timing problems right at the source. It gives us a whole new roadmap for treatments that could help people get back control over their own bodies.
So if you only take one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Your ability to move at the perfect time isn't magic. It's the result of this incredibly elegant adjustable hourglass timer, managed perfectly by your motor cortex and striatum working together.
And that kind of leaves us with one last fascinating thought to chew on. We've just unlocked the secret to the brain's physical timer. So if we can learn to pause, to reset, and maybe even fine-tune this clock for movement,
What other incredibly complex brain functions, like decision-making or even perception, what could we one day learn to adjust? The possibilities are just absolutely mind-boggling.